Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. In just less than a year, Hoosiers will cast their ballots for president, governor, and other down ballot races. And something that is bound to capture a lot of attention is the election system. Indiana's Secretary of State has been working on the issue, but some critics say it's not enough. Adam Pinsker reports on what's being done to protect the integrity of the election and make sure the voting system isn't vulnerable to attacks.
We'll talk about that in just a second.
On a recent fall night in Brown County, residents got a chance to test drive new voting equipment that was used for the first time in this month's municipal elections. The equipment allows people to cast electronic ballots with a verified paper trail.
By allowing them to go back and having some sort of a paper trail, I think is going to make things a little more easier, and they're going to feel more secure and more confident that their vote has been counted.
A law that went into effect in July requires all counties by the year 2030 to use voting machines that provide a paper trail audit. Several counties are already using this technology, but cybersecurity experts say waiting another decade to implement it is risky, especially after evidence of Russian interference in the 2016 election.
There was a proof of concept that was done in 2016. So now any country, any group that would like to similarly interfere has a game plan.
Chair of IU Bloomington Cybersecurity Program, Scott Shackelford, says hackers don't have to target all of Indiana's 92 counties. They could focus their efforts on a few swing counties to influence an election. Indiana's voting machines are not connected to the internet, and while that may thwart hackers, Shackelford says it doesn't guarantee voter information won't fall into the wrong hands.
If there is any way in, not only by the election officials themselves, but volunteers on that day, you can slip in a flash drive and still potentially compromise the machine.
In addition to the state's new cybersecurity law, the legislature approved $10 billion in next year's budget for cybersecurity. Democratic State Senator J.D. Ford sits on the Elections Committee. He lobbied for more money, but the Republican majority denied his request.
I think with everything that's going on in our country right now, in regards to election security, I think that's a request that we could have easily have provided.
Ford is now considering his own legislation that would beef up security of the polls.
I'm looking at, what do we do when we have a security threat, whether it be an infrastructure security threat or a physical security threat inside the polling location.
He also says same-day or automatic voter registration should be allowed in Indiana. He says it would be an inexpensive fix that would streamline the voting process.
Nothing else we do in this building matters if we can't protect the election and making sure that our vote counts.
Shackelford says even though the timeline for making these security upgrades is longer than some would like, he says Indiana is moving in the right direction.
There's no such thing as a 100% secure software package. You can compromise any system with enough patience and resources. So we have to be comfortable with that. We have to do a better job at deterring those attacks.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Adam Pinsker.
We reached out to Republican Senator Greg Walker, chair of the Elections Committee, for comment on the story, but he declined our request for an interview.